All right, thank you for tuning into another episode, rocking with you here on a Wednesday. A lot of stuff to get to, so let's go ahead and get into it. Um, the Deshaun Watson stuff. Once again, you don't want to keep talking, harping on a beating drum. Is just a matter of time when uh, he's going to be suspended, and obviously, it looks like it's going to be for the year. I want to start at ESPN, but I could just pull it up. I thought there was just an interesting thing that came up from the Browns saying that they won't personally challenge any suspension. So if Deshaun Watson wants to spend his money on attorneys, then let him go ahead and do that. He's still going to make 45 million this year. I think third highest player, but I don't think he's going to play. Tua came out today and he said something interesting. Said that uh, but despite Brady's interest, he's still here. I mean, he's still there. If Brady wanted to be there, he wouldn't be there. If he really wanted to push for it, but he didn't, obviously, because of that Brian Flores situation. It would have been crazy if not for Brian Flores' lawsuit. It looks like they would have had Tom Brady and Sean Payton and just haunting New England. Things are just really, really bad in New England. I'll talk about that next, but obviously this is a make or break year for Tua. I'll talk about it more when I put their season preview up, but I'm not a believer. Again, I think people struggle in that type of offense season one. I just don't think he has the arm strength. He doesn't have the toughness to be a starting quarterback in the league, especially at his size. Now, I wanted to talk about the Patriots. I just mentioned it. They're really struggling. So Bill Belichick decided that it would be a good idea to have two guys who are defensive coaches coach the quarterbacks. And they've been struggling, by all accounts, by even their beat writers. Like I said, this is shirt off season. This is best shape of my life, new interesting ways to use players season. And it's not been that. All the news out of New England has been negative. And let me see if I can pull up one of those articles. And it's interesting because a fact that I found out today is the New England Patriots spend more money than any team in the league on their wide receivers. They have the most expensive wide receiver room by $10 million. So there's no team in the league that spends more money on its receivers. There's no team in the league that spends more money on its tight ends than New England. They don't have a top 5 tight end. They don't have a top 20 receiver. So the question asks, and I'm gonna step on my thing that I'm gonna drop here pretty soon, but at what point do we start to question Bill Belichick? At what point do we start to say, hey, maybe this guy isn't the greatest coach of all time? You just had the greatest player of all time. And now that you do not have this transcendent through the stars player who's still playing at 45, who's still in MVP conversations, who won a Super Bowl the year that you left, the year that he left you, now you don't have this player. You look incompetent. Again, let me repeat, the Patriots are spending more money on than any team in football on their wide receivers and their tight ends. The best receiver is what, maybe Devontae Parker, who couldn't really make the cut in Miami. The best tight end is Hunter Henry, who's, he's okay. It's like an above ground pool. It's a pool. But like, make it make sense. That's why this whole ring culture, who has the most rings is the best, is ridiculous to me. It's always been ridiculous to me. I've never used it as a measuring stick as who's going to be the best. I never did, and I never will. Um, I don't know. We don't need to find the article. But the Patriots are struggling. They had a situation where they're not going to name an offensive coordinator, not going to name a defensive coordinator. Why? That's just dumb. There's a reason why, the people are heads of situations. When you don't have direct lines of leadership, then, information gets frayed. Brady was the straw that was stirring the drink. He was. If you had these collection of weapons, you would think that they would be a Super Bowl contender because that's what Brady did. Brady held it together. He hit on Brady on accident. He hit on Gronk, and those two hits kind of kept him going for kept this New England run going. Gronk, Brady, getting Moss out the trash can from the Raiders. These small moves in the micro have kept things going, but all these bizarre moves that he made, like not playing Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl, his way of, oh, I'm not playing players and let me get out a year before the player gets bad. Let me not play um, Gilmore. Let me not play Justin Jackson. Let me not pay Chandler Jones. I'm trading this guy. I'm undercutting this guy. Patriot way, don't talk. All that stuff that you did, all those idiosyncrasies of Bill Belichick, all that works when you have Tom Brady, the most unselfish player in sports, who took less money and was always for the team, never really talked, never really got out of pocket, always strive for everything. And once you lose that, all these weird things that you do, like sitting your best cornerback in the Super Bowl and not letting them play, they look like fucking stupid moves now, right? Because you don't have Tom Brady. So I know this is blasphemy. If I was nationally syndicated, they would say, okay, I'm bomb throwing, but we have to ask the question, how good of a coach is he? He's never won a playoff game without Tom Brady. Tom Brady went to the bowl. We have to start asking questions. We do. We have to start asking questions about his coaching tree. They all flop. All of them, they flop. The great coaches, their tree is elite. All of them. You just pick, their tree is elite. The all-time greats, the guys, all of his coaches, they flop. We have to start asking some questions, man. All right. I think that's it with the NFL. I saw some interesting, some spicy stuff with the Browns receivers, the Browns cornerback and the Bengals receivers. Some spice was getting thrown on there. I like to see it. I like to see it, the teams getting, talky, little chatty. The Bengals are definitely a Super Bowl contender. They are improved their offensive line. La'el Collins got off the pup. They're going to have a far superior offensive line. That Super Bowl for them was lost not because the receivers couldn't get it open, they just could not block the Rams. And they spent a lot of money in their offseason on the offensive line. So they're definitely a contender. I think the Browns were a contender. But obviously with the Deshaun Watson situation, Jacoby Brissett's not bringing anything. My man Tolo told me stop bringing up Cam Newton. It's embarrassing. So I'm putting a moratorium on it until he gets signed. I will not discuss, him, being able to do something for the team in this league. And other news, a big boxing match. Crawford and Spence looks like it's going to happen November 13th, November 13th or the 19th, I believe. That's just big for boxing. I think we've had a point since the Floyd Pacquiao fight where I think that there are so many boxers who are trying to chase the Floyd Mayweather path of, just big bouts that they kind of like try to lead to this crescendo, like, oh, I'm gonna build it up the way Floyd and Manny Pacquiao did. And, I'm a little bit out of my depth talking boxing. I would maybe bring my man Marty on to talk about that. Probably gonna do that. Yeah, you have him on for a little bit to talk about it, but it's interesting that we get this big of a name while these guys are still in their prime. So it's great, and hopefully that leads to more fights. There's a lot of guys in these divisions, Tank Davis, etc., that are leading, getting close to bigger fights as well. So hopefully, this is one of many good fights that sparks like a chain succession where 2023 is just a year of mega fights. Hopefully that's the case. So I was happy to see that. NBA news. I saw that the Sixers are trying to get into the fray to get Kevin Durant. I think that that's kind of interesting, but they don't have the pieces. What are you going to offer Tobias Harris, Maxey, and some picks? Like that's not good enough, right? If you're turning down Jaylen Brown and some picks, why is Tobias Harris and Maxey make sense, right? So I think that it's probably going to be the Boston. They're offering the best player, at least the best player currently in Jaylen Brown. It makes sense for their trajectory. I think it's probably going to be Boston. I saw here that Bobby Marks said that James Harden could be an MVP candidate. He's in shape now. He's really worked. He's going after it. I think he's heard the slander and he really wants to get back at it. So he looks in shape. He looks good. There was a clip that I saw of Scotty Barnes completely locking him down, full court pressure. But, that's a young boy and, that's just one possession. But he looks in shape and I think he's ready to really silence a lot of his critics. So we'll see. He sacrificed for the Sixers this offseason, and he's back into a contract year because he has a 1-year opt-out on his deal. So I'm sure if he has a great year, max year, MVP level year, like Bobby Marks is saying that he might have an MVP level year, he's going to get the max. So we'll see. To me, I always preface my hardened displeasure towards the end of the season that he's out of shape. He was clearly 20 pounds over what he was. So I'm starting a 40-day cleanse tomorrow, 40-day diet. So, I can't talk about nobody's weight. I got the jaws here and I'm trying to get it off myself. So I'm not, fat shaming nobody. But I mean, the man was overweight, but at the same time, they're not paying me $40 million to play basketball. I don't think, if they was paying me $40 million, I wouldn't look like this. You feel what I'm saying? So, personal chef, personal everything, what I'm saying? Massages, everything, around the clock. Ice bath, everything. It would have been on. So, what else here? I wanted to talk about one. Oh, yeah. There's this meeting that the Lakers had, and they're going to run the offense through AD, and we want Westbrook to shoot more corner threes. I want right now, the girl I want the most is Aisha Diaz, but I can't have her. So I'll focus on what I can have. I have just as much chance of getting Aisha Diaz as the Lakers have of getting Westbrook to shoot more corner threes. He shot less than one a game. He refuses to do that. He came out during his press conference and just completely trashed everybody. LeBron, everybody. Coaches said he didn't get a fair chance. He wasn't allowed to play his way. No responsibility on his part. None. I've been a Westbrook fan as he's aged. It's just gone just completely left. And, his character of being this, his character is starting to turn into a caricature where he's starting to become like a cartoon figure where, I'm snarling, I'm angry about everything, don't tell me nothing, I'm Russ, I'm Brody, I'm triple double Russ. Like, fam, you did that. Like, life is about adapting, that's what makes humans great, is we can adapt, we can change, we're problem solvers, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you got to adapt to your situation. This is not the situation to be triple double Russ. I'm the Brody, give me the ball. Like, this ain't the situation for all that, So I don't know. We'll see. It's just, I see it and I'm like, my God, man, my God. But he just switched agents. I don't know what he's looking to do, but we'll see what's going on. Let's see. I felt like there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. I think that's about it. I think that's about it. It's just interesting time of the year and a lot of work to be done, and enjoy doing it. So thanks for rocking with me again. Subscribe, share to a friend. The game is a game. All right. Thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor. Push the button. Hit subscribe. Come on, man. Push it.
Call everybody up. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. You heard what she said.
and do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is a game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, you know?
The game is a game.
Always.